Definitely would.
Yeah, would. Would you?
Would. Where? Which one?
Yeah. Oh my god!
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Would you?
Which one? That one.
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah. What happened here? She got bogey. Oh no, it's in nose ring.
Oh shit, we're recording.
Oh hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
We'll just start this. So this is our review of Kareena Kapoor. So, Ravi, I've just got to get this out. Why would you make such a rubbish film?
I'm sorry.
When you read a script...
I didn't read it.
Oh, you didn't read it?
I didn't read it.
Right, well that explains it. I
didn't even meet the director. Never seen any of his stuff before.
And you just decided to do it?
I just decided to do it. He said you get to like sleep with Kareena Kapoor.
Right, okay.
And safely can't wait to beat you up. I was like, oh, I'll do it.
Right, okay, so earlier on today we went and checked out Kareena Kapoor, and why we went to watch it, we don't know. But
no, we do know. We saw the trailer and we thought the trailer looked really good. That's why we went and spent an entire Sunday travelling an hour to the cinema and then 3 hours at the cinema and then travelling an hour back to watch Kika.
Right. Actually,
and it was cack.
It was really, really cack. It was, oh my god. It was so bad that I kid you not, I'm so drained of it. Me and Ravi did not talk all the way back. We're so friggin', the only time we talked is when I said, dude, can you pull up at Tesco's to buy some milk?
Yeah, we went to Sainsbury's instead. That's how confused we were.
Yes. But let's get down to the nuts and bolts of this movie.
Or the nuts and boobs, is it? What?
Boots, butts, whatever, right? So, do you want to talk about what the film's about?
All right. So, Mr. Mulkey, the director, is known for high concept stories and high concept ideas. So, the theme behind this movie is very simple. Kareena Kapoor is a high-powered executive that works in marketing, and she is very ambitious and very career-focused, like her mother was. And Arjun Kapoor is sad, droopy-eyed man who really wants to be a housewife like his mother, who unfortunately passed away 10 years ago in film time. And so he wants to achieve his dream of being a house husband, she wants to achieve her dream of being a high-powered executive, and they happen to meet. And then they decide to make an arrangement which sees them both fulfill their ambitions by embarking on a marriage together.
Now, that in itself, pitching it to a couple of execs, sounds pretty awesome. The idea of let's switch roles, the guy takes the woman's position and the woman takes the guy's position when we're talking about marriage. But guys, oh my god, this thing fell apart. Soon as it started, it fell apart. And I'm going to tell you why it fell apart. Right. So we're talking about a bit of Bulky, his directing. That's how drained I can't freaking pronounce his name correctly. So his directing, right?
Oh god. Yeah.
Now, I don't know who was behind the camera. I don't know who edited this.
A child.
Yeah, or somebody just out of film school, right? It was the worst possible selection of shots that you can... honestly, I couldn't even have these shots in my nightmare. I couldn't visualize these shots. They were fucking... yeah, it was almost as if, okay, super close up, super close up, and another close up on top of that.
And then you can't transition from one close up to another without shaking the camera.
Yeah, and then there's a shake camera, and then we always talk about this two-dimensional, very basic, boring film making style, which is over the shoulder, close up, another over the shoulder, and a two-shot. Yeah, okay guys, obviously we've studied film, we know about film, so therefore we could pick out these holes, but at least friggin' bring on a good editor to edit this stuff together. You know what, I'm just rambling on because I'm so annoyed. I messed up my Sunday. Help me out, Ravi, because I think I'm going to start screaming in a minute.
All right. So you have a film that was poorly directed from a visual standpoint, right? Too much movement, too much zooming. Just because key and car is in the trailer doesn't mean you need to use kinetic filmmaking. It doesn't work, okay? The editing was shocking, like you said. Now, that sometimes can be made up. Sometimes, if you have a pretty strong script and if you have good performances. Unfortunately, you had a weak script and mediocre performances or certainly a mediocre performance from me. Arjun Kapoor was poor in this, like very poor, very lazy. He was a man-child in the truest sense of the word. You never felt you didn't believe that he had this lifelong ambition to fulfill his mum's wishes. You didn't believe that he had any kind of emotional soul behind his ambition. Kareena Kapoor, on the other hand, you did believe she was a high-powered girl, But the problem was, they had no chemistry, like none, at all. It was all very forced. So you have bad visuals, really bad visuals, bad editing, bad script, bad acting, and to top it all off, you had bad music too.
Yeah, there's another thing that we've got to touch upon. It was almost as if they were writing the script as they were directing the film through each scene. What I mean by that, it felt like to me this script wasn't complete and additional changes within the script were thrown in because the pacing of this film was all over the place. It just didn't add up. Like, there's no explanation for why, let's say, they go to Dubai all of a sudden. We're in Dubai. Yeah, the New York thing was highlighted. She's going to go to New York, but we're in Dubai. And other shots as well, like they're walking home. The fight scene, which was so friggin' poorly put together. The guy, Arjun Kapoor, is outside the vehicle. This is actually in the trailer, by the way. So he's outside the vehicle. These guys like start getting all excited about Kareena Kapoor, like, talking about how amazing she looks. Anyway, just like that. It's almost as if he teleported into the van and he does a Chun-Li super fast fucking kick on these bad guys and throws them out. It just ruined the tempo of the whole thing. Anyway, it didn't ruin the tempo was damaged from the very friggin' beginning.
It was. And then you have this issue, right, where in that very scene, it would have been fine if the scene before or the scene before that, there'd been some kind of build-up about her questioning his masculinity or him wanting to prove he was like this macho man, but none of that happened. It was just a scene they threw in for cheap thrills so they could have another excuse to say, oh, let's have sex, which is whatever. Now, we get criticised a lot for just saying stuff is rubbish. I'm pretty sure, in fact I'm 100% sure, we could rewrite, recut and reshoot this film in a month and make a much, much, much better film, because the theme is interesting. It's gender role reversal in a country that doesn't really support that kind of gender role reversal. The problem with it is there's no execution behind it. You said this at the time. The narrative is kind of loosely there, but you never really dive deep into his relationship with his father or Kareena's relationship with her mother outside of the context of their marriage. And so you never really get the understanding of where these deep-rooted kind of traditions have come from and why, in the case of her mum supported the new wave and his dad hasn't. You don't really get an idea of why their marriage starts to, as you can imagine, fall apart, because there's no connection in the first instance, and then when eventually it does start to fall apart, it's very trivial in the ways that they have it done. Now, there is a great cameo from one spoiler.
Yeah, Amitabh Bachchan, right. Now, this cameo, this whole scene just felt like somebody said to Balki, right mate, chill out, go get yourself a coffee, we're going to direct this next bit. Or Amitabh Bachchan said, look, I want to bring on another director. That's what it felt like to me. Anyway, that scene, the energy, the pacing, the chemistry, everything just shifted. It was almost as if we went to watch this film for that. It really felt like, okay, if we're going to take anything away from this film, it's that. The messed up thing is, is that part really actually didn't even need to be in the film, but we are glad that it was there because it just...
It made the film acceptable. So, if they created a short film out of this, they could have done it with that scene, the one scene of them getting together and him saying, I love my mum, a single scene of him making up house, and then the scene at the end that says, hey, it's okay to be the powerful girl and the homemaking husband. This film is contrived in the end. It struggles deeply with trying to execute on actually a quite interesting theme, and there is nothing to support it outside of a few montage sequences and a few, very few moments of comedy that you've seen all of them in the trailer anyway. And ultimately, it's a massive, massive fail and a big waste of a Sunday afternoon. Now, we know we were obviously tweeted by Arjun Kapoor because we were massively excited about the trailer. Unfortunately, for us, the film didn't deliver.
Yeah. Now, do you know what? Guys, I know this may seem like a rant from me, and it kind of is, because I just don't get how some of these films can be made. It's almost as if the more you watch it, the more like an object, a transport system within the film, a train is running out of fucking steam, and it's dead on the tracks. No, it did. Didn't it fucking feel like that?
The train.
Yes.
There's some funny scenes in this movie that you guys will, if you do ever watch it, you will just be in hysterics because trains.
This film, right? Let's really rip it apart, right? This film should be, like there's films that you could watch in film school, right? Where they tell you how not to make a film, right? And they just basically rip it apart. This is one of those films that will be in that library, how not to make a film. Sorry.
All right, guys. I think you get the point. Kareena, surprisingly decent. Arjun, unfortunately, a bit of a letdown. Script non-existent. Music pointless. Not even worth the effort, really, apart from the main title track.
Apart from that, why was Kareena having her fits in the film for no reason? This is the thing that I can't understand.
But hang on. No, that really does happen in real life, though.
All right. Okay. What do you want to explain? What they? Just a random fit, but because she gets a letter from Amitabh Bachchan's wife, it changes everything. Spoiler alert, not that you should watch it. But anyway, guys, sorry, we just had to do this. Oh man. And
so put it this way, guys, we didn't even want to do this review. In the end, we watched it and we thought, you know what, we can't do it, but we did it for you because we know we owe it to you to warn you of bad films. This is one of them. Unfortunately, we're probably going to get a lot of hate for it.
I don't care we get hate for this. I don't care. Those people don't even deserve to watch Polly Falls. If they're going to fucking cuss us off and say, this is a fucking amazing film. Disaster from the very friggin' start.
Alright guys, well look, that's Kareena Kapoor from Silent and Ravi.